everybody, it's Jodie Emery here with my weekly update about MARC and what's going on with the campaign to bring him home. So today has been an interesting day. Angus Reid, a major polling company in Canada, must have had a poll commissioned about marijuana legalization and about MARC being extradited and his request to come home. So I was up at 3 a.m. and I got a news story from one of our email lists with the results of this poll. And it said that only 50% of Canadians disapproved of MARC's extradition and that 50% approved of it. And it said that 46% believed he should be able to come home to serve his time and that 39% were opposed. However, when you read the question, and when I read the news release that I had in front of me, it said that MARC was indicted for selling marijuana and marijuana seeds to American residents. Now, that's absolutely untrue, and it skewed the results of the question because clearly more people would believe that a marijuana grower and dealer should be extradited if he did that in the U.S., and they would not agree with it if they knew it was a Canadian paying taxes who never left Canada for seeds. So it's a big difference, and I was quite upset in the morning. So I called Angus Reid with the number that they provided, the Vice President of Communications and Media Relations, and I left a very disappointed message and wrote up a press release to send out to the media to make sure that the accurate story got out before this inaccurate poll reached the press. So I put on Facebook asking people to please call and express their disappointment and demand an apology and a retraction and to redo the poll with accurate information. So that was great. I got a phone call from CKNW Radio. I did an interview on the morning radio show about it. I got a call from CBC Radio, and they said that MARC wasn't actually in the poll that they had, but that they were interested in what I had seen. So we talked about that on the radio. And then I got more calls from 24 Hour News and from the Metro newspaper. And I did a photo shoot just a bit ago holding up the printout of the PDF because I saved a copy of the poll to my computer, obviously. So I have the original question with MARC where it says, Mark Emery is a Canadian citizen who is indicted by a U.S. federal grand jury on charges of money laundering and distributing marijuana seeds and marijuana from Vancouver residents in the U.S. And then it goes on with some more info in the question about whether his sentence was harsh or what not. But the really interesting thing about this story is that I got a call from 24 Hours saying they spoke to Angus Reid, and this gentleman that I left a message with and that other people talked to, he claims that Mark Emery was never one of the questions and that the news release and the poll results have nothing to do with Mark Emery. Well, that's true now because they've removed it, but thankfully we have the originals. So that's an interesting story, and we'll see the results of it in the news today and tomorrow. So I had a phone call from Mark today, which is excellent, and I actually got a beautiful, beautiful card. A lot of inmates in prison are either artistic already or they start to work on their artistic skills, having not much else to do. And I got this gorgeous card. I don't know who actually illustrated it, but I thought it was a real card from a store somehow when I opened it. But it says, "Dearest Jodie, I love you," and it's got this glitter, and on the inside it says, "And think of you all day, every day," and it's got two hearts with Mark and Jodie and the beautiful, sweet message where he says, "It was Tuesday, November 23rd. Dearest Miss, sweet wife, today was an anxious day as we both struggled with the harsh reality of my imprisonment with our teary phone calls. You are so amazing, though, and you will get me through this, and I will be the greatest husband I can be when I am returned to your arms, and how that will be heaven. Your boo, Mark, your prince." And that was so sweet to receive because I get letters from him, but that's just so beautiful, and it has been very difficult with him going away that far down to Georgia and realizing, I won't be able to see him as often, and it's been quite a while since I've seen him, almost 2 months. So it's really hard, but I'm excited because this week I do get to go see him. On Friday I'm going down to Jacksonville, Florida, and then being driven up into Georgia. So I'll be able to see him on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm so excited. And Mark is very happy today because he got the job he wanted in the prison library. He was concerned that he might have to work in the kitchen or doing other hard labor, and the prisoners only get paid 12 cents an hour. So he was really anxious about where he would be placed for his job, and he got in the library, thankfully, which is great because Mark is all about books and all about helping people read and write, and in fact he's going to help with the English class to teach people. So that's really great to hear, and it'll keep him busy. He told me he was exhausted after finishing his hard day at work, stacking bookshelves and such. So, but he's able to get good food, and he's outside in the sun. So he's staying strong, but it's still difficult with so few English speakers and so many bureaucratic nightmares with paperwork and figuring out what's what. So please do continue to write your letters and send him pictures, and you can even send him magazines in an envelope. In fact, I bought Time magazine, so you can just slip a magazine in here in an envelope, send it to him. The address is at cannabisculture.com and freemark.ca. Just get the right postage, and you can send one magazine per envelope, and Mark and the other inmates would all really appreciate it. So if you can send some Spanish language, National Geographic, or anything else, that would really be appreciated, because most of these inmates don't have any support or anyone out there for them. So I want to try and make their experience better as well, because so many people are suffering needlessly. So please do continue writing to Mark, and more importantly, continue writing to the U.S. Department of Justice and the Canadian Public Safety Minister, telling them to transfer Mark home so he can serve his sentence here in Canada. And as for Canadians, I have some very bad news. The Senate passed Bill S-10. This is the mandatory minimums bill that was introduced a number of times and hasn't yet succeeded because this government has prorogued Parliament, and there was a coalition and all sorts of Canadian politics, but they've managed to get this mandatory minimum prison time bill through the Senate, and it's going to Parliament. Now, normally it should go to Parliament and then the Senate, but Stephen Harper, who promised not to ever appoint anyone to the Senate, has since stacked the Senate with all of his appointments, and therefore they were able to easily pass Bill S-10 this time around. This results in 6 months for 5 plants, or maybe 6 plants equals 6 months. But making hash or a pot cookie will get you 1 year in prison, mandatory minimum. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. It's definitely 1 year minimum. And if you're near a school or where any children are present, it adds it up to 2 years more, and it's a horrifying bill. Please go to whyprohibition.ca and you can read all about it. And there's an emailer on the front page. It's so easy to do and so important that you do this. Go to whyprohibition.ca if you're in Canada and use the automatic emailer form to contact your member of parliament and tell them to vote no on S-10, because this is up to them. And if it passes, we are going to see an expansion of the prison industry in Canada in ways that nobody could ever think possible. We will see such a horrific mass incarceration of the cannabis culture. That is certainly what this is about. Everybody out there who is growing, even medicinally, you're at risk, and this government is looking to put you in prison, and they're already building the prison cells. But if this bill doesn't pass, we have more time to wait until we get a new government and push for an election. But at this point, what we really need to do is the most easy and most important thing you can do is contact your member of parliament. Your life and other people's lives may depend on it, and do depend on it, depending on what your involvement is in our culture. So please be sure to get involved, not only in helping bring my husband home, but in helping ensure Canada does not follow the failed path of the United States, and fight for our freedom, because it is slipping away so quickly, and we can't wait until it's too late before we take action. So get out there, get involved, whyprohibition.ca, join up, go to freemark.ca, sign up there too, and cannabisculture.com for all your regular news updates. Thanks a lot, everybody. No more drug war.